anniversary of D-Day and Normandy. And right now in France, there is a big commemoration of the remaining American World War II veterans who were part of the invasion and or part of World War II. President Biden is there. President Macron is there. And I just wanted to talk about that because I think, boy, you can already hear in my voice is getting raw already from doing all this talking, from doing these live streams. But it's worth it. I have an interesting relationship with World War II and with France and the military for a number of reasons. I'm a Army veteran myself. I was in the Iraq War. My father was in World War II. He died about 7 years ago. I think he'd be about 102 years old today if he were alive. And I spent a lot of time in France. I speak French. I've lived in France numerous times, and just the connection between the United States and France is really, really awesome. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about what's going on and the sacrifices that were made. Now, we all know the story about Normandy. I mean, the Nazis took over pretty much all of Europe, and the Nazi war army was just, it looked unstoppable. And the Normandy invasion really kind of started to change the tide in favor of the Allies. And we got a foothold on Normandy Beach. And why is there this celebration every single year in France? I mean, the French people love the Americans for this reason. And every year they go to Normandy to celebrate the sacrifices that these American soldiers made to preserve freedom and to kick out the tyranny of the Nazis. And it's really an amazing, wonderful commemoration that happens every year. Something I want to talk about, though, which a lot of people don't know or they don't even remember, because we always talk about how, France owes so much to the United States, and if it weren't for America, France would be speaking German, and all of that is true. But if it weren't for the French, we would still be part of England. And we think, what are you talking about? Well, during the Revolutionary War, and in 1776, the United States was losing the war. And what did we do? We sent Ben Franklin. I don't know if you guys know that name. You should. There's a wonderful short series on Apple TV Plus now called What's Up? Come as you are, my friends, to my live stream. Nice to see you, Mark Macapagal. Thank you for joining. Thanks for the like. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks for the shout out to Nirvana. I got this t-shirt yesterday. I really like it. We sent Ben Franklin to France in 1776, July. The United States was losing the war. We were losing the Revolutionary War, and everybody said around the world, these colonies are going to fail. This American independence movement is going to fail. What happened? All right, there we are. We're back again. Sorry about that. Apparently, somebody was leaving me a voicemail on my phone, and it blocked everything. What I was saying, Ben Franklin went to Paris, France in 1776. Why did he go there? Because we needed help. The British Navy was the biggest navy in the world, and we were losing. And Ben Franklin was able to go to France and over the course of many, many months, negotiate with all of the various parties in the French government. The result being Ben Franklin got the King Louis, the King of France, to agree to provide naval ships to help blockade the coast so that the British ships could not resupply the British soldiers in America. Why is this important? Why am I talking about that today, about D-Day and Normandy? Because if the French did not help the United States, which wasn't even the United States back then, if the French didn't help this independence movement of the United States back in 1776, we would never have been a country, and we would never have been able to go back to France on D-Day in Normandy to help the French people. What's up, Bean? How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining. We're talking. Today is the anniversary of, I believe it's the Normandy invasion of the D-Day, which is what started the liberation of the European continent from the Nazis. And I was talking about, like, I have such a huge affinity for this whole topic. My dad was in World War II. He was also named Monroe, Lieutenant Colonel Monroe Mann of the United States Air Force, which actually, at the time, he joined the U.S. Army in it was like the day that Pearl Harbor was bombed. My dad would always tell me this story. The day that Pearl Harbor was bombed, my father was in the car with his mom, and they were driving across the Brooklyn Bridge. And he heard on the radio that Pearl Harbor was bombed. And all of a sudden, my father's mother, my grandmother, who I never met, I'm sure she was a lovely woman, she started crying. And my dad asked my grandmother at the time, "Why are you crying?" And she said, and this is happening there, she's crying while the radio is talking about the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And my dad said to my mom, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "Because I know you're soon going to war." And that was how my dad got involved with the entire U.S. Army. He didn't get drafted. He decided to be proactive, and he went and enlisted because he figured, hey, I'll have a better chance of getting a job that I like if he enlists rather than if he gets recruited, drafted. And he was right. He ended up becoming a cryptological intelligence officer. And he served in the United States. He served in India. He served in China. My dad had some crazy stories. My dad was in Nagasaki after the bomb dropped, after the atomic bomb dropped. He was there. And he was telling me these stories as they're driving towards the epicenter of the... Yeah, I'm going to talk about Saving Private Ryan in a second, Mr. Goodcat. So thank you for reminding me about that. My dad was driving towards the epicenter. The trees were like this at first. And then the closer that he got, the trees would just start moving like this, basically because of the bomb blast blew them all over. So it was pretty wild. So I mean, I give a salute to my father, who was part of the World War liberation efforts of the Allies, but certainly all these amazing people who were at the Normandy invasion. And it's a good time for me to talk about that, Mr. Goodcat, because Saving Private Ryan, as you says, does a really good job of capturing a glimpse of what D-Day must have been like. I'm a veteran myself. I joined the military. I was in Iraq for a year as an intelligence officer, kind of following my dad's footsteps. And I joined the military because of Saving Private Ryan. That was one of the 3 reasons. So there were 3 reasons. Number 1, my dad was a World War II veteran, so of course I'm growing up thinking about the military all the time. Number 2, I saw a movie called In the Army Now with Pauly Shore, a very, very funny military movie. And it showed me how much kind of fun the military could be. And then Saving Private Ryan, which showed me the reality of what war is like. But more importantly, I really remembered at the time, this was in 1999, I was pursuing acting in New York City. And I was really proud of me pursuing acting. But I saw Saving Private Ryan. And I remember the scene at the end where Private Ryan is asked, says thank you to Tom Hanks's character, and Tom Hanks And basically says, what can I do to thank you? And Tom Hanks says to Private Ryan, earn it. What does he mean by earn it? He means earn the life, because I'm about to die. I'm about to go die because I saved your life, and all of my men died trying to save you. Make sure you live a good life. And so I was thinking to myself, my gosh, I'm trying to pursue a career as an actor, which I think is great. I'm still an actor. I've been in a bunch of films. I'm working on a bunch of movies now. But certainly that's not the same contribution to society as somebody who served in the military in Normandy. And I was trying to think, how could I earn it? How could I earn the right to be an actor when all of these other people died in Normandy so that I could be free, so I could live in the United States and pursue my dream of being an actor? What was the answer? I needed to join the military myself. And so I joined the Army National Guard in New York, which is 2 weeks every year and 1 weekend every month. But of course, I got mobilized when the Iraq War started, and off I went to serve. And you wrote, he becomes like a water specialist thinking he won't go to war. I tell you this, it happens with a lot of people. There was this one person I was in Iraq with, and it was about halfway through the deployment, and he was always depressed. I just talked to him one day. I said, why? That's right, Jesus Christ. Thank you for shouting out to that, and God bless you guys. Thank you, Zach. And when people say, thank you, I say, you're worth it. You guys are worth it. Yeah, he becomes a water specialist in the Army now. Cheesy Nacho, you are worth it. I'm happy to have served, and I know everyone else in the military is happy to have served. What was I talking about a second ago? I was telling some type of story. If any of you guys can remember what I was talking about, it'd be appreciated. By the way, please click like if you like this. I'm on a mission to do live streams every single day until I monetize this channel and start making money. And I'm on the right track because I'm getting more and more live viewers every day. I'm getting more and more watch time. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. We're talking about Normandy. We're talking about World War II. We're talking about my service in the military. That's okay. No problem for the distraction. Never forget. Maybe we'll talk about September 11th too. I was there on September 11th. I'll explain. Forgive the sniffling. I'm still a little sick. I got over a cold. And you just wrote, I'm just glad you aren't on here doing tarot cards. You know what's funny? I get a lot of people are saying, dude, why are you educating us? Why are you giving lessons? Why? Because like you said, too many people are just, I want to be something, I want to be a channel where people can come and learn. I want to be a channel where people can be entertained and learn history and learn psychology, learn about the law, or, I guess I am giving life lessons. Instead of living in my car, I'm living in my apartment. Going back to France, we have a strange relationship with France, the United States. Some French people hate the United States. Why do they, quote unquote, dislike the United States? Because France used to be one of the great world powers. And France used to be the world diplomatic language. If you're an American and you look in your passport, it's still in French too. It's in 2 languages, at least the last time I checked. I think it always will be. It's in English and it's in French. Because 200 years ago, if you were an educated person and if you wanted to be a foreign diplomat, if you wanted to be somebody who did business in the world, you wanted to learn French. So France was, again, look, France helped the United States win the Revolutionary War. France was so powerful in the past. And I'm not trying to denigrate France now. France is still a wonderful country. I love France. Vive la France. But can you imagine if your country used to be the one that had the world language and the one that was able to help all these countries around the world And now today, England and France are more powerful than, England and the United States are more powerful than France. And so I understand that the French sometimes feel, those Americans. Why? Because we kind of took their place. We pushed France to the side in some way. On the other hand, there are many Americans who think sometimes they hate the French. Why? Because the French have the reputation of being snooty, je suis français, je suis... Da, 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 da. And I get it. And I think Americans are upset because a lot of French criticize the United States, yet the Americans are the ones who liberated France. And that's what this celebration is today in Normandy. If you turn on Fox News, or I hope CNN has it as well, but you can watch it throughout the day. There's a big celebration going on in Normandy. And it's a celebration. I don't want to say celebration because it's not, haha. It's more like a commemoration, a memorial for and a thank you. It's a memorial for all the soldiers who died at D-Day and at Normandy. But there are also still, even though my father, World War II veteran, is no longer with us, there are still World War II veterans who are alive. And they're there today, and they're being celebrated for their amazing sacrifices to help the world, to help preserve the freedoms that a lot of us take for granted today. They say freedom is never free. This is why I don't like people who criticize America. And and we also can be very cocky. We can be very cocky. Now, in some ways, I'm really proud of our cockiness. America, in many ways, deserves to be cocky. If it weren't for the United States, the Nazis would have taken over the world. And if it weren't for the United States, we would not be talking on this live stream now. I mean, I love the United States. We have done amazing things. YouTube is American. Facebook American. Google American. Microsoft American. Apple is American. All of the greatest movies in the world are American. I love the rest of the world. Je parle français, parlo italiano, 我会说中文, ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, hablo un poco de español. I mean, I speak a bunch of languages. I love other cultures. But people who criticize the United States are being really, really disrespectful and ignorant of history. Because the United States has made the world the safe place that it is today. And you may not like the United States being the world's policeman, but somebody's got to be the world's policeman. And think about it, if it's not the United States, who's going to take the place? I think I'd rather the United States be in charge. I'm seeing some, what's up, Natalie Hook? Pleasure to see you on here. Thank you. Thank you for your compliment. I really appreciate that. By the way, Natalie reminded me, I gave a TEDx talk recently in New York City. If you do a YouTube search later, Monroe, Mann, TEDx, the name TEDx talk is 8 words that will change your life forever. I hope you will check it out. Click like, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Also, please click like if you're here, if you like what I'm saying, and turn on the notifications because you'll get notified when I do my additional live streams. So far, I've been doing 3 per day, and it's exhausting me, but I'm seeing the watch time rising, and I really believe within 1 year, I am going to be a paid YouTuber with your help. So I salute you guys on this Normandy Commemoration Day as well. Let me see what other comments there are. My family's from Normandy, still a few of us there. Thankfully, they are cool French who love Americans. Look, in every country, there are cool Americans and there are horrible Americans. There are cool French, there are horrible French. There are cool Chinese, there are horrible Chinese. That is the way of the world. It's just, there is never any country with a unanimous population of amazing people, a totality of fantastic people. It doesn't exist. But there are people in France who are absolutely amazing and always remember the sacrifices that America made for France. Similarly, there also are some amazing Americans who remember the incredible sacrifices France made for the United States. I will never forget that the French are the reason the United States is here. I am an American because of the French. And any of you who are watching this, tell your friends. Because all we hear about is about America liberating the French. No one talks about the French liberating the Americans from the British. I would be a British citizen now. Actually, I probably wouldn't even, I don't know what I'd be. My family would still be in Lithuania or Russia or Austria or Poland or Norway, where we are from, because probably wouldn't have come to the colonies, because it wouldn't have been the United States. So please, please always remember that. If you have Apple TV Plus, please go watch the TV show Franklin. It tells the amazing, untold story of Ben Franklin's secret diplomatic mission to Paris in 1776 in order to get the help of King Louis to help liberate. The French are the reason we survived the American Revolution. By the way, Natalie, how did we meet? Do you remember? I don't think it wasn't. Was it in? Oh, was it in Florida? Oh, wait, I don't think we ever met. I think we were just chatting a lot. But anyway, it's great to see you again. And thank you for this awesome compliment. So, Cheesy Nacho, est-ce que tu parles français? Do you speak French? Or are you an American with French descendants? I'm very curious about that. Or are you actually in France right now? Mr. Goodcat, your grandfather is a World War II vet. He was some sort of communication specialist and set up radio stations. Well, I'm going to give another salute to your grandfather because, I mean, anybody who has a World War II vet in the family now, we're becoming fewer and fewer. I mean, like my dad died 7 years ago, and they say there's only a few more years where we're going to have World War II vets who are alive. I think that's amazing that your grandfather worked as a communications specialist and set up radio stations. Again, if we didn't have those radio stations during World War II, we wouldn't have been able to beat the Nazis either. So that's amazing. Now, I want to say something else too, because we're speaking about the Nazis. The Germans today are not the Nazis of yesterday. And it wasn't the entire German people. Like I said, there were good Germans and bad Germans. And so we can't have a hatred for Germans, because it wasn't the Germans who perpetuated the Holocaust and World War II. It was Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. I have amazing friends in Germany. If any of you have been to Germany, it's an amazing place. And the same thing with Japan. Japanese people are wonderful. I have a PhD in psychology, and I know very well that a bunch of normally great people could be influenced by the psychological machinations of madmen or groupthink. And Japan and Germany now, it's so funny. They are two of America's greatest allies. We kicked their butts. We kicked Germany's butt in World War II. We kicked Japan's butt in World War II. Horrific deaths on all sides. But how funny that they are now our greatest allies. Japan, best friend of the United States. Germany, best friend of the United States. That's also a lesson for life. Think about your friendships. Someone who is your worst enemy today could very well be the person you marry tomorrow, or the person you go into business with tomorrow. If you have a business and you have a major competitor and you think they are your mortal enemy today, tomorrow they could become your greatest ally. Maybe you guys join forces and you become one company. Maybe this person that you've hated for the last 10 years because of something he or she did to you. Remember the lessons of Germany and Japan. They may become your best friends in the future. So for those of you who are just joining, again, we're talking about World War II, about Normandy. Today is the anniversary of the D-Day invasion. I believe it is today, June 6th, yeah. And talking about my dad becoming a World War II veteran, talking about my experience in Iraq, paying it forward, my way of saying thank you to the people who died on D-Day. When I watched Saving Private Ryan, I decided in 1999, all right, if I want to pursue my career as an actor, I wanted to give back and earn that right, just like in Saving Private Ryan. And I felt the only way I could earn it was by joining the military. For you guys, you don't have to join the military. But I'm telling you, you should be appreciative of the French military, for the Navy, for what they did to make America what it is today. Say thank you to any veteran. Most veterans do not hear thank you. Do you know why those Vietnam veterans, you see a lot of veterans wearing their Vietnam hats, their World War II hats, their Korea hats, because most people say nothing. And so they're hoping that somebody's maybe going to recognize them. Someone's going to recognize that and say, thank you so much. And maybe some of you are not American. That's fine. Say thank you to your soldiers as well, because many of them died for very worthy causes too. And it pisses me off to no end. So many people in the world saying we got to reduce defense spending. We need, peace, not war. It's like, it's a bunch of crap. We are humans. We are imperfect. And a lot of humans are selfish and egotistical and don't care about anybody else with no morals. What's that going to mean? Some idiot is going to start another horrible war. And there's going to have to be good guys who go and protect the ideals of a safe and free planet. And guess who that is? Those are our militaries, our men and women who decide to go into danger to protect freedom. Say thank you to these people every day, because if we don't encourage military service, that's a big problem. I mean, even look what's happening in the United States. People don't want to become police officers anymore because they're not being treated well. It's a whole other story. And of course, there are bad police officers. There are bad soldiers. There's good and bad everything. But I think the problem in the world today is we're just always focusing on the bad when we need to be focusing on the good. And I think that's what's so great about today. And when they have this celebration every year in Normandy in France, we're not talking about the bad. We're talking about the good. When good people rose up to fight against an evil force known as Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. And to an extent, the Japanese forces as well, who were wreaking havoc in the Pacific. Let's look at some of these comments. I'm seeing Natalie's comment again. Thank you again for that. Uncle Remus, I don't want to pay to police the world. I understand that. And I think you may be American, I'm not sure. We have to police the world. There has to be somebody who is keeping order in the world. Now, I used to live in China, and I speak Chinese. I have many friends in China, and I have a great fondness for China. And I will say it proudly, I love China. I also have friends in Russia. I speak a tiny bit of Russian. I have Russian history. And I've been to Russia as well. And that's another great country. But if I have to choose, who do I want to be in charge of the world? United States, China, or Russia? It's no question. I'd prefer the United States. Even though the United States is not perfect in any way as well. The United States has got a major set of problems. And we could talk about that on another live stream. Again, I don't want to focus on the negative today. I want to focus on the positive of how grateful we all should be for what happened at Normandy. And it doesn't matter which country you're in, every country in the world has benefited from the Normandy invasion. Because who knows, there's a book series and a television show on Amazon Prime called The Man in the High Castle. And it's a fictional retelling of what would have happened if the Nazis in Japan had won World War II. And I have my criticism of the show, and I didn't really like the ending and stuff, but just being in that world, and it takes place in the 1960s, and half of the United States is controlled by Japan, the western coast. The eastern coast is controlled by the Third Reich, and the center is called like the Wild West. I call it like the free zone or something. But it is frightening to think what would have happened if the Nazis and the Japanese at that time had won, because it's scary, really scary. So I get that you don't want the United States to be the police of the world, but it's either us or China or Russia. There's no one else who can fill that role right now. And I think the United States is doing a pretty decent job. Maybe not forever. The Roman Empire has fallen, and the Turkish Empire fell. Roman Empire fell. Greek Empire fell. I mean, the United States is the big empire in the world right now, and one day it's going to fall. It's not if, it's just when. And when the United States falls, just think who is going to fill the vacuum? Who is going to become the police officer of the world? Think about that. So, and maybe someone else will do an even better job than us. I don't know. Maybe China will do a better job. Maybe Russia will do a better job. But I'm not sure. I still got my vote on the United States. Mr. Goodcat wrote, my father was born in Germany because my grandparents were stationed there. Got it. Fascinating. Interesting. So did your father speak some German? And did he have some German citizenship because he was born there, or was he born on an American military post and therefore just an American? And Cheesy Nacho, as a French American, I've always cherished the close diplomatic friendship between France and the U.S. I agree with you, Cheesy Nacho. I think that's an amazing thing. Please continue where Miss Livestream ends. Remind people about what France did for the United States in 1776. If more Americans knew that, and I think if more French people knew how, a lot of French people today, I don't think they even know about Normandy. I bet these millennials and these kids, unless their family had somebody who's in the military, I get a lot of them are growing up and they just don't even care. All they watch is the stupid news that criticizes the United States. And I think it's terrible. I mean, there's good and bad in everything. I'm not a big fan of Joe Biden, but is there some good in him too? 100%. I'm a fan of Donald Trump. Is there bad in him? Of course. Look at me. I'm a fan of myself. Is there are there bad parts of me? Absolutely. Look at my hairline. It's receding. But I mean, even like morally, no one is morally perfect. Not one of us is God. And this is why it's like we have to try to be more patient with people and try to forgive one another. And as I'm talking, I'm trying to think of people in my life who I should forgive, because I'm not perfect. So why should I expect them to be perfect as well? Yeah, Cheesy Nacho, there is a super cruel history between our countries. And after I watched that TV show called Franklin on Apple TV Plus about this secret mission of Ben Franklin going to France to help enlist the help of the French king, I'm realizing, my gosh, I want to read even more about the special connection between France and the United States. It is amazing. I'm sure there's got to be a great book on there. Maybe one of us, me or one of you, need to write that book. By the way, please click like if you like this. It'll help me get higher rankings on YouTube. It'll mean more viewers. It means I can do more of these live streams. And if I can start making money from it, my mission is within 1 year to monetize this channel and actually be making money from it. And I see the very clear plan now. I'm one of the first YouTubers ever. I joined in 2016 before Google bought YouTube. It's been over 20 years and it's really upsetting me that I have not been making any money from it. So this is the year, or maybe early 2025. Anyway. Manventh. What's up, Manventh? Great to see you. Manventh is a member. He's from India, and he is I believe it's the Manventh that I know from breakdiving. Before I tell about who you are, remind me if you are the same Manventh. He wrote, I used to rule the world, seas would raise when I gave the word. Now in the movement I sleep alone, sweep the streets I used to know. King Louis XVII. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. Is this a quote from King Louis? Let me know. Arc unknown. America's definitely the world power, but tower doesn't mean bad. Many Americans don't realize how good we have it. Free speech being a big privilege of many. The reason why people today are so anti-American is because we are so far away from World War II. People forget. History repeats itself. Nothing that has happened is anything that has not happened before. And it's the same thing, like just like the Roman Empire fell, American empire can fall too. And I just think people today don't realize how amazing it is that the United States military is so strong that it has kept their freedom and their ability to burn the American flag and to give the middle finger to the president. I mean, I lived in China, and like I told you, I'm a big fan of China. My dad was stationed in China. I grew up learning about my dad's stories, being stationed in Shanghai and Chongqing and Nanjing. And my grandpa was an importer of Hong Kong replica furniture, like this right here. This is Ming Dynasty replica furniture that my grandfather imported from Hong Kong many years ago. I mean, so I kind of feel that I am Chinese in many ways because everything I grew up with was Chinese. And, but they don't have free speech there. And if you give the middle finger to President Xi Jinping, you'll get in trouble. And in the United States, you have that free speech. And they're two different systems. Again, I do have affinity for China, but at the same time, it's a different world over there. And people don't realize how amazing it is that you can trample on the flag. But I have to admit, I think some of these things China, I think America is like too free, and I think China is too constricted. Because I don't think you should be able to burn the American flag. I'm sorry. I just think that is something absolutely horrific, and it's contributed to the decline of patriotism and historical appreciation for what that American flag means. And to allow people to burn the American flag, they go, that's what makes America great. And all of these horrible protests. I was in New York City 2 months ago to do my TEDx talk. If you search Monroe Mann TEDx, would love you to watch it. It just came out a few days ago. And I was locked inside of NYU by riot police from NYPD for 2 hours after the TEDx event finished. Do you know why? Because the pro-Palestinian protesters were causing such chaos that they wouldn't let anyone in or out of this building. And that upset me so much. And they were not arresting why were they? I was made prisoner. Instead of arresting these idiot Free Palestine protesters who were causing chaos and hurting people, throwing things at cops, I was arrested, essentially. And all of the other people there and locked in NYU. What is backwards in this country today? This is what I'm saying. We are far away from the America from World War II. Because I guarantee you, we would not tolerate flag burning back then. We would not tolerate these violent protests and then locking in the civilians. So crazy stuff. But people don't understand how good we have it. And I think this free speech has gone way too far because it's causing problems now. And some people need to be arrested for their free speech. I can't believe I would say that, but because it's gone beyond free speech to the point of people are being innocent civilians like me who were doing absolutely nothing. I was being punished to allow for the free speech of others. I mean, free speech should mean it's allowed if it does not cause any problems for other people. That's what free speech is. But basically, it was false imprisonment by these protesters. So free speech is a very strange thing. For those of you who don't know, I'm a lawyer as well. So some of the things I'm talking about is not just me talking as a random guy. I understand this free speech that I fought for as an American soldier. I also know the free speech that I defend as an attorney. But it's definitely gone too far in this country, and I think free speech does need to be restricted to some extent because this is getting bonkers. Arc Unknown says, I realize how great I have it in America, especially after going to other countries. Well said, my friend, Arc Unknown, because most Americans who criticize America have not traveled. Or if they've traveled to other first world countries. I've been to Iraq. I was in Haiti for 2 weeks after the earthquake, volunteering as an EMT. You want to see a poor country? Go to Haiti for 2 weeks. Okay, where else? I lived in China. I've lived in France. I've lived in Switzerland. I mean, I've lived in first world. I've been to Africa. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Swaziland. I've been to Kuwait. The more you travel, especially to the countries where they are, I've been to the Bahamas, Bimini. I don't know if any of you have been to Bimini. That's a fascinating island. It's one of the islands of the Bahamas. Arrive at Bimini on the ship or on the boat. If you go right to the left, you'll see it's the hotel. And it's all developed and it is amazing. You feel like you're in a first world country. If you go to the right, you are in absolute abject poverty. Now it's beautiful on the right side of the island because it's untouched in many ways, and there's a little forest at the end of the island and these beaches where you are a nobody. But I mean, and I hear people talking, it's like, oh, why did you like Bimini? Oh no, it was so poor and disgusting and trashy when I went to the right side of that. I'm thinking, you guys are such snotty people. Like, what is wrong with you? First of all, that's where some people live. That's their home. And they're very proud of that home. And they love to live on Bimini, and they love to be Biminians. I don't know what the name is. But to me, the most exciting part of my visit to Bimini was going into the right side of the island, and I could find where these people lived and see this really raw, honest place where people lived. The left side of the island was completely fake. Big hotel, fancy buildings, this and that. And I felt it was like, I don't know, it's the strangest thing. Go to Bimini and use it as a cultural adventure. Because on one side, you'll see one dichotomy and one side the other. And you can see both sides of the islands within one day. Because the island of Bimini, there are two islands. I think the North Island and the South Island. You can see both islands very, very quickly. All right. So my advice then is, as Ark Unknown said, go visit as many countries as you can, and please go if you go to 2 fancy vacations, to like say France or to, the United States, make sure you go on your 3rd vacation. Every 3rd vacation, go to a country that is not as developed. You will start to appreciate what you have in the United States or in France or in Germany. I also think you'll get a great education because I said there's good and bad everywhere. Even though these countries may have poverty, they have such happiness and joy. I remember in my PhD studies in psychology, I read this study once of people are infinitely more happy in third world poor countries than they are in first world wealthy countries. Why? Because like here in America, we have these, they call them first world problems. And it's true. We get upset when our Uber is late. I was getting upset earlier because this live stream froze up for a second. And we get upset because the air conditioning goes up. My air conditioner right here, right there, I'm living in Miami Beach, Florida. It's June, it's really hot. It broke for 3 days. My mom and I own some real estate here, and we have tenants, and the air conditioning is broken in their apartments too. And I'm so grateful how patient they are when it happens. So I learned from my tenants to be extremely patient with my landlord too when we lose the air conditioning. But for 3 days we didn't have air conditioning. I was like, oh, that sucks. Most people in Nigeria don't have air conditioning. I have friends in Nigeria and they don't have air conditioning. And I'm upset I'm not upset, I've learned, because of patience, but like most people get upset when they don't have air conditioning for an hour in the United States in summer. These people in Nigeria, so you go to these third world countries, you will grow as a person. I've become more patient. I've learned how to be joyful. Oh, that's what I was saying about the joy. People in third world countries are happier than people in America. Why? Because they're not fighting for all stupid things. Their mission is, I want to make money for food. I want to pay my rent. I want to make sure my children are healthy. And that's it. And maybe I'll play a board game or play some soccer outside. Their lives are so much simpler. Our lives in first world countries are so complicated, and we do it to ourselves. So anyway, please go and visit some of these go to some country that you would never imagine going to. When I was in China, I went to Mongolia. People were asking me, why did you go to Mongolia? Why didn't you go to Japan for a second time? Because I wanted to see Mongolia. And oh my gosh, Mongolia was amazing. A beautiful, beautiful country. And I rode my horse. I rented a horse and I rode it across the Mongolian plains like Genghis Khan. Wow, amazing. Let's look at more of these comments. Cheesy Nacho lives in North Carolina, born and raised here. I speak some French, especially around my grandparents. I should know more though. Hey, Cheesy Nacho, maybe this live stream will be your inspiration to connect more with your French heritage. Get a French course. I love Busuu, B-U-S-U-U. Get Busuu. That's the best language learning app you can find on the internet, and you will absolutely love it. By the way, please click like if you like what I'm doing. It helps me to get more live streamers. Please click subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be doing more of these live streams every day as long as my voice holds out. Have you ever heard the theory about all the Nazis fleeing to Africa because in Africa there's a place that primarily speaks German? The Nazis did flee to a number of different places. They flee to Africa. They flee to Argentina in South America. There's another television show on Amazon Prime. I think it's called The Hunters. And it's fictional, but it's about this fictional bunch of Jews after World War II who make it their mission to go around the world killing all of the Nazis who fled Germany after the war. And so, you see them going to Argentina, you see them going around New York City. It's a feel-good movie because it feels good to see these Nazis getting their just desserts. There's another great movie, it's by Quentin Tarantino, called Inglourious Bastards, which is about this group of Jews in World War II who create a unit who go after Nazis, which is another funny fictional story about kicking the Nazis' butt. Arc Unknown, great to be allies with Japan and Germany. 100%, like I said, your greatest enemy could become your greatest ally. And I think in some ways, Japan and Germany, I think they're grateful to the United States for kicking their butt. Listen to me, it's a weird argument, but I think it makes sense psychologically. We kicked their butt. If we didn't stop the Japanese and German war machines, they would have taken over the world. And we all might be living under Japanese and German rule today. I think most Japanese and Germans do not support the Nazis or what Japan was doing during that time. I think they're grateful that we put them back in their place and go, hey, stop it. Stop being a bad boy. Because Japan and Germany are much better countries today than they would have been if we didn't stop them. And so I think a lot of the reason why there are out today is they also appreciate us just as much as the French did. The world today is very different than it was back in the 1940s. And in many ways, it's better. If we didn't stop that, the whole world would have been a mess. Thank you for service, Arc Unknown. You're worth it. My pleasure. Waiting for the stand-up show. All right, I'm standing up, Natalie. If you're still watching, this is the stand-up show. I know you're talking about stand-up comedy. Actually, I'll give you a quick stand-up comedy right here. I'll give you one joke. So, big difference between New York City and Miami Beach. In New York City, they are working 60 hours a week, working. In Miami Beach, same thing. They're doing something 60 hours a week, twerking. Ba-dum-bum. Psh. I just lost 2 subscribers because I did my stand-up act. Not 2 subscribers, 2 viewers. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. Mann, yeah, it's me. So that's a famous song from Coldplay, Viva la Vida, which means long live life. The song is on King Louis XVII's last speech, which was not able to deliver and soon executed on the guillotine. Well, thank you for that historical information, Mann. I appreciate it. Cheesy Nacho, I'm going to go to Mongolia and South Korea for a couple months. Never been to Asia. Trying to immerse myself in every culture I can while I'm young. Can I tell you this? Immerse yourself in every single country you can the entire time you're alive. I mean, the first time I went overseas was in high school. I went to France and the Caribbean. I got to take a little pill that's going to dry up allergy relief to fix my sniffling because it's driving me crazy. I'm sure it's driving you crazy. Nothing is honestly, I think one of the best educations I've had, I've got so many degrees. I've got PhDs, I've got law degree, I got an MBA, absolutely everything. PMP, master, an MBA, anything. Anyway, my number one education has been my traveling. I've learned more by going to different countries than anything else. Give me 3 seconds to swallow this pill. Thank you. And so, Cheesy Nacho, when you go to Mongolia, write this down. Terelj. I think it's Terelj. Terelj. That's the name of the city you need to visit in Mongolia. It's about an hour drive from Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital. That's where you're going to fly into. You may also be able to take a train from Beijing, but it was going to take you a long time. So I flew from Beijing. It's about an hour flight, hour and a half. I don't know if there's a bus from Ulaanbaatar to Terelj, but you can definitely get a taxi, and it's not going to be that expensive. It's maybe $50 or something like that, but 100% worth it. In Terelj, there are two things you can see. By the way, all of you guys watching right now, go on to Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever, and search for stone turtle, Terelj, Mongolia. There is this this thing is probably like 10 stories tall. It is as big as a skyscraper, monster size. It's a natural rock that looks exactly like a turtle. And it is absolutely mind-blowing. And when you look at it on Google, you're not going to realize how big it is unless you see the actual somebody standing next to it. But when you're going there, you can go see that turtle, and you can go and see the amazing Mongolia that's not developed. There's not a lot there. It's just big plains and rivers. And you can rent a horse and go riding through Mongolia, which I think everybody should do. Traveling shows me that America is so special. Arc Unknown, you wrote, I left the country for the first time 4 months ago. I spent a month in India. It was an eye-opener. Wow, that's one of my next places to go. I have this company called Breakdiving. The link is in the description. It's a global, worldwide community of winners. We're a not-for-profit. The mission is to help everyone achieve impossible goals together through mentorship, motivation, meetups, and mutual support. If you go to breakdiving.io, all of you would love you guys to join us. It's free, and we can interact there in many different ways. And rather than me just talking, you can actually be part of this cool community. And we have about 250 members in India. And I've been wanting to go there so much. My dad spent a lot of time in India during World War II. And all of these members are living there for breakdiving. And I want to set up local meetups. I want to go to New Delhi. I want to go to Kerala. Tell me more, Arkanun. What were the top three? What was the top thing you loved about India, and what was the thing that you did not like? Because every country's got pros and cons. I'd love to hear that. You're going in August. Awesome. I'm going to be camping and riding horses the whole time from north to south. Beautiful. You're probably going to be doing more than I did because I was only there for 2 days. I only had 2 days there. So how long will you be there in Mongolia? Mann, by the way, he's a member of Breakdiving. So he's part of this other community. So that's how he found this live stream. Manvent, can you write in the chat why you like being a part of breakdiving and why you think people should join? Because I think that'll help a lot. And Manvent is in Bangalore. He's a great, really competent, and he's actually helping us with doing some of the coding for the breakdiving site. And Cheesy Nacho wrote, I just finished doing the same thing, but hiking on foot for a month through Baja, Mexico, and is amazing. I'll be in Mongolia for 20 days. You are awesome, man. Wow. Congratulations. I think that's fantastic. By the way, for any of you, there we go. I got frozen for a second. Please click like if you haven't. Would love you to subscribe to my channel. Although we're talking about different countries, we're actually still talking about Normandy and D-Day and the sacrifices that came. And I was talking about how important, the best education you can get to realize how great America is and or your country. Go travel. And don't go to just countries that are fancy vacation spots. Go to the places that are off the beaten path. I think it's amazing that Cheesy Nacho went to India before, or he's going to Mongolia, and he was hiking in Baja, Mexico. I mean, these are places where most people don't go, and you go there and you meet amazing people who are much happier than you, who have much less than you. And I think that's the amazing thing that you learn by traveling. Sometimes you go to these places and you go, these people are so happy and they're smiling and they don't have all of the fancy stuff we have. What's going on? What's going on is they're not trapped by all of the technology and all the money and all the things that we have. So I have been to Normandy. I went to Normandy. Actually, remember I told you on my first real trip outside the country that I remember. I did some other trips with my family. I think I went to Germany when I was a little kid, in Austria. But the first trip that I really went on kind of by myself and I knew what I was doing was to France. We went to Paris and we also went to Normandy. And in my mind, I still remember this. And many of the people who went on this school trip with me still remember this as well. There are all these craters at Normandy Beach from where the bombs dropped. It's like, here's the beach, and they go like this. And I would go into all these craters and start running faster and faster, so that I was sort of running so fast that I was using this centripetal force to keep me on this thing. And every time I see somebody from high school, and I'm 46 now, so like 25 years ago, who was there in Normandy with me, they go, Monroe, I still remember to this day you running in those craters, and all the French people there and all the Americans were like, it was like I was doing a show, and everyone was laughing that I was running around in these bomb craters on Normandy Beach. So I that's my big fond memory of Normandy, but also remembering what happened in Normandy. It's crazy. What's frightening is that we can eventually go back to that if we forget history. You guys I'm impressed that you guys are watching me now, because I wasn't sure if anybody was going to be interested to learn about Normandy and World War II and the Iraq War and freedom, because it's, as somebody said earlier, I'm so surprised to see you live streaming about something other than tarot card reading, because that's what this person only saw. It's nice to know that there are people like you guys who care about history, and you care about learning, and you care about remembering the sacrifices that soldiers made in the past to keep America and the world free. Manvent wrote about breakdiving. It's a great place to find supportive people of your similar interests. There are amazing people who love to help you with anything you need. If you want to explore something new, join breakdiving. Amazing. So I hope some of you guys will. It's a little boring filling the form, but it's worth it. Yeah. So you have to apply to breakdiving. It's probably going to take you 15, 20 minutes. But as Manvent said, it's absolutely worth it. I have never met Manvent in real life. He found me through the Google ads for breakdiving. He's a member for many years now. And we talk on our Zoom. We have Zoom meetings. It's like this live stream, but instead of just me talking and you guys typing, all of us are on Zoom. So if any of you like the idea of having a meeting with me, but we're all talking amongst each other about money, about finance, about our dreams, come and join Breakdiving. That's just one of the things we do is online Zoom events. And as I mentioned, soon I'm going to be setting up live in-person events, not only in Miami, but in India, in Nigeria, all the places where we have a lot of members. So anyway, it's about an hour. My voice is kind of getting tired, and I'm going to have to take my mom to go get her driver's license. She lost her New York license, and now we live in Florida, so we're going to go, instead of replacing the New York one, we're just going to get her a Florida one. Ark Unknown wrote, my favorite part about India was the people. Traffic was crazy. I saw how competitive it is there to make decent money and business right away. Yeah. I imagine that the feeling you get in India is very similar to the feeling that I get in China. Both of them are developing countries. Both of them have more than 1 billion people in population. Both of those countries have people who want to become successful. And so I'm sure the people in India are just as warm and loving and caring as the people in China. They're warm and loving and caring, and they're also hustlers. Ark Unknown says, I started a business when I came home. I'm sure you were, because I'm sure those people inspired you greatly. And I hope that you guys watching will check out Breakdiving. It's not me doing an advertisement. It's me literally telling you this place is awesome. And we just need more people there. More people like you, thoughtful people from around the world who like cultures, like languages, like travel, like history, like business, like success. Please check that out. Again, you'll find the link in the description to this live stream. I have the link in the description to every one of these live streams, breakdiving.io. Thanks, Ark Unknown. I appreciate you checking it out. You'll get to meet me more personally. You'll meet Mann more personally. The favorite place I have traveled. Mongolia is really up there. Mongolia is a wonderful country. And I'm trying to think if there's somewhere else beyond that. Favorite place that I've traveled. Something memorable is Ljubljana, Slovenia. So Ljubljana is the capital of Slovenia. And you can sort of see pictures of it if you search for the center of town of Ljubljana. But nothing will prepare you for what it actually looks like when you're standing in the center of Ljubljana. And there's a river that goes through it, and it's this very small city. But it has all these bridges and roads that are going out right from the center. And it is so weird because it feels like it's such this huge, big city because it has all of these different roads going out from it. Please go there. I've only been there once, but I've wanted to go back there so many times just to stand in that center of town once again. And yeah, I've been to the Vatican. I went to college in Switzerland, a college, it used to be called Franklin College. Now it's called Franklin University, Switzerland. And it's part American, part Swiss. And I went there for my last 2 years of college. And as part of my studies in Switzerland, I had to go on something called academic travel every semester. So on one academic travel, I went to South Africa. On one academic travel, I went to Russia and Estonia and Finland. On one academic travel, I went to Rome. I went to where was it? No, I went to England, London and Cornwall, England on an art trip. And the last one, I went to Rome and southern Italy. On that academic travel to Rome and southern Italy, we went to the Vatican. And that's an amazing place. So the Swiss Guard, for those who don't know, they are the ones who protect the Vatican. The Vatican does not have its own military. It's part of the Swiss military that protects the Vatican. And it's a special unit called the Swiss Guard. and they are basically the defense military for the Vatican. Manvent, have you been to the Vatican? Have any of you guys been to the Vatican? Really beautiful place. The art, when you go into the Vatican, you see Michelangelo's beautiful artwork in the Sistine Chapel. It's quite overwhelming and beautiful. Yeah, I've been to Venice, Italy, and the time I went to Venice, Italy it was kind of a fluke, because I had a Eurail pass and I was traveling all around Europe. And I decided I was going to go to Venice. It was right after I went to Ljubljana, Slovenia, because Italy borders Slovenia. I took the train from Ljubljana, Slovenia to Italy. And I ended up in a town near Venice. And then I went to Venice and I got off the train and I was so shocked because I saw all of these people in these strange costumes. It was kind of weird and scary because some of these costumes were, and it took me about like 20 seconds to figure out what the heck is going on. I arrived in the middle of Carnevale, and where all these people dress up in these weird, ghoulish costumes. But it was the most amazing night. And I went to all these different parties, and there were these parties on all the bridges in Venice. And if you can go to Venice during Carnevale, wow, what an experience. So I feel I got a really great opportunity to see things that I wouldn't see. Oh, my mom is knocking on the door. Let me just tell her when I'm gonna take her to the. Hey, what's up? I'm doing a live stream on YouTube. I'll help you find it in a little bit. Okay. Okay. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right. So do you really think Jesus' last drop of blood is hidden somewhere in the Da Vinci's paintings, which makes humans immortal and Jesus have a secret wife? I don't know about that. Who knows? But I don't think that there's a last drop of blood that's going to make me immortal on there. And yeah, Carnevale is amazing. Did you go to Carnevale in Venice, Cheesy Nacho? By the way, Manvan, can you click like? I really want to have 5 likes on this live stream. And that would mean a great deal to me. Or any of you. If any of you have not clicked like on this, please do that. I think you do that by swiping down on your phone, and then you can click like, and then you can swipe up. I don't know. You should have the option, Manvan. I think if you swipe down, it shows another screen. I think. It is weird, because I was on somebody else's live stream yesterday, and it was kind of hard for me to find the like button. Yeah. I'm glad you went too. So it was a wild experience. I want to go back to Carnevale again there. I want to go back to Ljubljana, the center. I want to go back to Turelj, Mongolia. Cannot wait to go back to Shanghai, China. Hey, we got 5 likes. High five, people. You guys are awesome. Oh my gosh, we got 6. I think this is the highest number of likes that I've ever gotten on a live stream. And any of you guys, I just want to tell you, if you guys have a YouTube channel, consider doing these live streams, because it's amazing. I'm finally getting a lot of watch time and getting a lot of subscribers. Every day that I do these live streams, I'm getting at least 3 or 4 new subscribers. On one day, I got 12 new subscribers just by doing the live streams, which is really crazy. Yeah, hooray. I really think I'm going to be making money from YouTubing. If not before the end of the year, I think by the beginning of 2025. As long as I keep having awesome people like you tuning in, and not so much remains. All the good, man. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. If you're just joining us, we're talking generally about Normandy and D-Day and the incredible sacrifices that those soldiers made to help the world. And we're also talking about travel, because we're talking about Normandy and different cultures and different countries and things like that. I tell you, yeah, the grind has been crazy. It's been 20 years I've been on YouTube, and only in the last 4 days did I finally figure out how to get watch time. I've been able to get subscribers. I've got 2,250 subscribers, but who cares if you've got subscribers if you don't have the people watching? And I'm grateful for doing this TEDx. I did a TED Talk in New York City. It just came out on YouTube recently. You can search for me, Monroe Mann TEDx. I'm grateful for that because I was trying to think, how the heck am I going to get more people to watch that TEDx, and how do I use the TEDx? And I kind of just lucked into doing the live streams. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is the solution. This is actually working. And I'm a good speaker. I like talking. I have a lot of different things to talk about. And here we are. I hope your channel blows up. You have a lot of knowledge and stories to tell. I'm surprised you've been doing this long and aren't a lot bigger already. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And me too. I mean, everyone that I know who knows me well says, I don't understand why you are not a millionaire already. Why are you not a millionaire? And the truth is, I don't know. But I think I figured out something, and I think it's this live streaming. I cannot believe this girl, Natalie Hook, is on here. She's been to the Vatican in India, so you are awesome just like the rest of us. What are your favorite parts of the Vatican in India, Natalie? But like, I'm amazed, like this girl, Natalie, we're friends, but we haven't talked in a year and a half, I would say. And how random that she's finding me here. And now, I mean, that just blows my mind. And I thought she was here for just 2 minutes and left, but she's still here. What's going on? And this guy, Mann from Breakdiving, is here. And Not So Much Remains and Ark Unknown, 2 new people who I've never met before. I'm really humbled and honored at the same time, because I cannot believe I think I have figured out how to make this work. And I finally figured out, I've always believed my lifelong mission in life is to inspire people around the world to go after their dreams. And it's been hurting me for 2 decades, thinking, why am I not able to do this on a larger scale? Why is Tony Robbins the only public speaker who is international on that level? Like, I'm just as good. I have just as much knowledge, and I couldn't figure it out. And 4 days ago, I did my first live stream. There were 0 people watching for the first 6 minutes. And then suddenly I saw somebody find me. And then more and more. I am shocked that this is actually working. I think you do amazing on some good podcasts. I would love to be on podcasts if people want to invite me as guests. Somebody was suggesting I start a podcast about 2 weeks ago. So I was thinking about it. And I think that's what I realized that I like. I didn't know that this YouTube Live thing was here. And suddenly I thought, oh, maybe I can kind of do a podcast here on YouTube. And I guess that's what I'm doing. This is sort of like a podcast. Not So Much Remains writes, you only need 1,000 to 10,000 fans. There's tons of people who make more money with 10,000 subscribers than millions. It's about the relationship with auditory. What do you mean auditory? Was that a misprint? Did you mean the audience? The problem is you need short form videos, 10 minutes with value and consistency, and judging by your channel, you don't have it. So you're saying I need to be doing this live streaming and I need to be doing 10-minute long form videos that are horizontal? I'm open to any suggestions because I really want to make this successful and I want to help more people. I have fun talking with you guys. It's been an hour and a half and the time has gone by crazily and we have a fun time and we get to talk. You're very good at speaking, says Cheesy Nacho. I randomly came across your live and just stuck around because you speak great about interesting topics. Well, I think you already told me you subscribed. If not, please do that and turn on the notifications. So far, I've been doing 3 live streams per day. 1 in the morning, I do 1 in the afternoon and 1 at night, if I'm available. I quit my job as an immigration attorney 4 months ago, and I've been trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing now. And I did this TEDx in New York. That's been great. But it's not like I have 1.5 million people knocking down my door, hiring me to be a public speaker. So I figure I got time on my hand. Why don't I talk? I think this is great. It's like, wow, I'm doing public speaking. It's live. I have a live audience, and people get to see me, and maybe it leads to making money. Super cool. I've been trying to figure out, like, the most live streamers I've had at one time on here is 17 people. That was 2 days ago. I know if I can get to 50 live streamers consistently, just think about that. For every hour that I talk, I get 50 hours of watch time. I would hit monetization within a few weeks, and at that point it would exponentially grow. That's what I'm trying to figure out is why did I get to 17 2 days ago, and now I'm hovering around 5 to 10. I don't know. Maybe it's going to just keep growing with consistency. I got a few subscribers from you guys, and maybe the next live stream again, you're going to join, and maybe we'll get to the point where I've got 20 people all at the same time listening. We'll see. Yeah, YouTube algorithm is different than Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, and people keep telling me to do it, but I kind of just feel like I want to focus on YouTube. I like the people here more. I understand the platform, and this is working. And I kind of feel like I don't want to dilute my time going to Instagram or TikTok, because I think I should focus on getting this to work, because it is on the road to doing that. Not so much Remain. Live streams are good, but you're giving tons of value to like 5 people. No, when it ends, the information does not die. It gets recorded right now. And as soon as I end this live stream, it becomes a video on my channel. If you look back, look at my channel and click under live. Every single video that I've done in the last 4 days is on there. And I'm getting more likes, and I'm getting more subscribers and getting more watch time from people who watch it after the recording is done. So that's why this is actually good, because I'm creating long form content by doing the YouTube live. In 2 days, YouTube gives a watch hour update every 7 days or so. So I'm not going to have, I started live streaming on June 2nd. I'm not going to have an update on how many watch time hours I've earned from that first day of streaming until June 2nd. So on June 8th, I will know how many watch hours I got from June 2nd. At that point, I will start to get an idea of how quickly I can ramp this thing up to potentially monetize it. 10 plus minute long form videos do make the most money. Shorts are cool, but they don't make much money. Awesome. Shorts are good to gain new people to watch your main videos. Great. Thank you guys. You guys are giving me amazing tips. Mann, it's important to have quality videos. Just live will not take you anymore. If I like you, I'll visit your channel. If I don't find anything there, then your channel gets dead or general views. But I've got massive amounts of subscribers from people just from the lives. There are two people who have been on every one of my live streams except for today, maybe because it's earlier. They subscribed, and why did they subscribe? So they get the notification about my live streams. I kind of feel like this is a podcast, and people are subscribing simply because they want to be notified of when I have these live streams. Thank you, Nacho. Gonna be honest, these people that come are just random ones, and even if they stick, I liked your personality. I don't have what to watch, and after a few days, the memory of you is lost. That's totally fine. And honestly, if I can just get enough random people to come and join, if I can get 50 random people to watch me for an hour a day, I'll be making money from this. And even if you, Nacho, even if you join today and then you come back again in 4 months, that's still, Mann comes on to break diving. He was on break diving regularly about 7 months ago. And then he kind of disappeared. And then like 4 days ago, he came back. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. People can keep coming back if you just keep doing it consistently. Add the donation thing. I can't do that until I have 3,000 watch hours. That's when something called Super Chat opens up. When I get 3,000 watch hours, and right now I have 152, but it's growing. When I get to 3,000, I get Super Chat, and I can put a store on my channel. So I guess I could sell t-shirts, sell my books, sell consulting services or things like that. So my main mission is to get to 3,000 because I think it'll actually start helping me to build my business in that way, because I don't have to make money directly from YouTube. I can make it, like you said, from tips, and I can make it from selling merchandise. YouTube algorithm is responsive to consistency as well as watch time. Start with some videos that you like. Subscribers don't mean anything on YouTube. They do, because people who have been watching my YouTube Live, they subscribe. And then when they subscribe, they get notified every time I go live. And every time I go live, I see the same people in these chats. Today, it hasn't been. But usually there are 3 or 4 people who keep coming back to my live streams. And I think Mann, did you find out about this because it showed up on your YouTube saying Monroe Mann is live? Because what happens is then I will show up on your YouTube stream and go, hey, you're subscribed to Monroe. Yeah, so the subscribers don't mean anything except that they are bringing people back to my live streams. By having you here, like this has been an 80-minute live stream. I'm going to get about 6 to 7 hours, if not more, of watch time because of that. Millions of channels with 100K plus subscribers that have like 100 views. You're right. Subscribers alone don't mean anything. But in my case, I'm starting to build subscribers who seem to actually care. And so that's the difference. And I think somebody was saying that earlier. If I have 1,000 subscribers, but they all watch everything that I do, boom, I could make a lot of money doing this. And I think that's what I'm starting to finally build up is a subscriber base who actually consistently watch me. I've never been consistent with YouTube until now. I can't believe I've been on YouTube Live basically 2 or 3 times a day for the last 5 days. It's mind-blowing. If I can keep this up, I'm reading a book. It's saying the number one thing you have to avoid as a YouTuber is burnout. The only burnout that I'm getting now is my throat. It's really starting to hurt by doing these live streams constantly. So I'm gonna have to figure out either how to, maybe I have to do shorter live streams, or maybe I need to do the longer live streams, like an hour, but only twice a day, not 3 times a day. I'm trying to figure that out. Mann, I have muted notifications. I was doing my web design and wanted a break and was scrolling and you popped up. So that's the thing. I popped up under Mann recommendations because he's subscribed to my channel. But some of you guys just randomly find me because I'm just in the thing. So my mission is to get enough people to subscribe who are really interested in what I'm doing. So that way when they do subscribe and they're on YouTube, they're going to see me again and they're going to potentially tune in again. See, what's up, Emmeline? See, Emmeline, who just came here, she's subscribed a few days ago and now she's in the chat, and she is one of those people who is coming back to my live streams regularly. Let's see. In the end, listen to the guys that sit there on live. We're all YouTube audiences. We have the same advice. Start making videos. Yeah. I'd say keep up what you're doing, man. I have tons of videos, though. I mean, I think I have 300 long-form videos on lots of topics. On Iraq, skydiving, tutorials, motivation. So there's plenty of material I think I have there where people who like what I'm doing can find something that interests them on there. But maybe I'll work on doing some more in the future. I'd say keep up what you're doing. Live streams can definitely do a lot of good. Thank you. All of this stuff is great advice. I should do some more long form videos. I'm definitely going to keep doing the YouTube Live. You're definitely going to keep asking for likes and subscriptions. And definitely going to keep talking about the random knowledge that I have. That's where most of the people are finding me. They just go through shorts and you find me live. So, Emmeline, give me a like. I'm ending this live stream soon, but let's get 7 likes on here. That I think that'll be the ultimate 7 likes. Huzzah. Gosh, maybe my throat hurts too because I'm still kind of sick. But I have to take this cough drop because my throat is killing me. Hold on one second. Let me put this up here. And I clicked on your channel a couple of times now. And to be honest, the wallpaper, names of the videos, consistency. There's nothing consistent about my channel except me doing these live streams. So, maybe I'll never see you again. Not so much remains, and I understand that. I'm not focusing on making any long form videos right now. I just want to see if this live stream thing works. If you subscribe, you will find me again in your live stream feed. So if you find this interesting in that sense, I'm really focusing on the people who are interested in me doing the live streaming now. Some people make $40,000 a month just doing live streams. So this is a potential viable solution. And we'll have to see. Going back to the Normandy D-Day analogy, let's see if I've won the battle today. I got 7 likes, and I've had a lot of consistent viewers today. I think it hasn't gone below 5 really in the entire last hour. The question is, am I going to win the war? And the war is, can I turn this thing into a monetization? I encourage you, not so much remains, to subscribe, because I think it'll be a fascinating case study for you to see if a year from now I've got 300 people watching, 500 people watching. Or if I could tell you guys, hey guys, I just made $4,000 in one day, which would be pretty amazing. I will say again, thank your military service members. They are what keep you free. Please check out in the description, check out my website, monroemann.com, monroemannlaw.com, breakdiving.io, and investlikeaninvestor.com. Got a few more comments. Just my advice, if you want more people to come here, start making 10-minute videos with maybe a whiteboard and captivating photo. Do you mean a whiteboard behind me? Or are you talking about a whiteboard on the screen? And Emily, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy even if you're here for 10 seconds. For 10 hours or 10 seconds. It's all appreciated. And I appreciate the great well wishes. All the good luck, man. Absolutely. I wish you the best as well. I wish all of my viewers the absolute best. And I'll just wait to hear what you have to say about the whiteboard before I sign off. For any of you who are just joining, remember today is the anniversary of D-Day. It's June 6th, 2024. It was June 6th, 1944 when that happened. There is a Normandy invasion commemoration and memorial in Normandy in France happening right now. That was the main purpose of this talk, just to remind us all to say thank you to our military service members around the world. Certainly all those who lost their lives on Normandy Beach or fought in World War II against the Axis. And as I always say, winners do it now. Go after your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something. Yes, behind you, watch Alex Hormozi. It's funny you mentioned Alex Hormozi. Look at this. His books are amazing. For any of you who want to learn about business, sales, and closing sales, Alex Hormozi. I have not watched any of his YouTube content, so thank you for that recommendation. I will do that. Maybe I could set that up and do something like that with a whiteboard. So thank you. Appreciate that amazing advice. Emmeline, wonderful to see you. And Arc Unknown, absolute pleasure to have you here. And Natalie, if you're still there, great to be in touch with you again. Mann, awesome to see you too. Let's continue talking on break diving about how we can code the front end and the app For break diving, Cheesy Nacho. If you're still there, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. I thank you all for your amazing feedback and support. Well, this was 90 minutes. No wonder my voice hurts. I've been talking for an hour and a half. Have a wonderful day, guys. And see you soon. Bye.